Fürs Kommen und nun, Herr Großimam, haben Sie das Wort. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Im Namen Gottes des Barmherzigen des Erbarmers. Herr Dr. Norbert Lammert, Präsident des Deutschen Bundestages, sehr geehrte Abgeordnete des Bundestages, sehr geehrte Damen und Herren, Assalamu alaikum, Frieden und Gnade Gottes seien mit Ihnen. Ich möchte Ihnen zu Beginn meiner Rede ganz herzlich dafür bedanken, dass Sie mir die Gelegenheit geben, mich über
Nile Cruise and moving now to another topic, and Egypt's Al-Azhar Grand Imam Ahmed Tayyib paid a visit to Berlin on Monday, where he met with top clerics in Germany's Catholic Church, and he gives a speech before the Bundestag. The Germany's parliament, where he delivered a speech to the West about the Islamic values and principles. He participates in a global religion conference under the title of Peace Be Upon You on March 17th. Today. He also attends a gathering of the World Association of Al-Azhar graduates. Tayyib, who is the head of the world's most prestigious Sunni Muslim institution, visited the Indonesian capital Jakarta last month, where he met with President Joko Widodo, as well as top Muslim clerics and preachers. To be discussing these topics and more, we're joined with Dr. Hussein Alam. He's the Islamic Sharia scholar. I'd like to thank you very much
for joining us. For having me, and good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Good afternoon now. And in your opinion, how important is the visit by Dr. Tayyib to Germany, and how do you see the timing of the visit?
Yes, this is a very important question, and the timing itself is very significant. And this visit per se, and in and of itself, it comes as part of a continuous efforts and continuous series of efforts and steps taken by the Grand Imam of Al-Azhar, representing a great institution like Al-Azhar al-Sharif, to, in my opinion, reclaim the narrative and make it very clear that Islam as a religion cannot be hijacked by the acts of a minority here or there. This comes at a very crucial time, and we can see all the turmoil taking place not only here in the Middle East, but also the ramifications and its repercussions on the entire international arena. So this comes, and this is why the Grand Imam, he started by making it very clear that I'm not here to preach Islam or because I'm taking any right or leftist side, but in order to make it clear that Islam as a religion, it has a commonality with all divinely revealed religion, that all of them stand for peace, all of them call all human beings for equality and for peaceful coexistence. And this was very clear all through his speech by clarifying many important principles in Islam and very basic notions in Islam, and also the misunderstanding that takes place in the minds of the people in the West in regard the acts of some people who claim to be acting in the name of Islam, whether they do this intentionally or out of ignorance. The thing is, Islam is a religion, and to speak in the name of Islam, this takes knowledge, this takes scholarship, because when it comes to the proper understanding, it's a matter of knowledge, and there are principles, there are parameters that define what Islam really stands for. And again, the Grand Imam of Al-Azhar makes it very clear at the end of his speech that as he is addressing the people of Germany through the Bundestag, he's also extending this hand, which has been always extended by Al-Azhar for peace, for the EU, for the whole world, for tackling issues of common concern facing humanity, be it about global terrorism, hunger, or anything like this. I think this is very important, and this comes as part and parcel of the mission of Al-Azhar, recognizing the great challenge laid upon its shoulders. So this comes, as I said in the very beginning, as part of a continuous series of efforts taken by Al-Azhar to defend Islam and to clarify the true image of Islam and Muslims.
So this is something that I admire about you, Dr. Hassan, that you have the new generation from Al-Azhar, the way you speak, the knowledge, the language, and you're trying to represent Islam in the correct form. But again, there is a lot of challenges for Al-Azhar. The way to reach the world needs a lot of innovative channels in order to pass the message correctly. Do you think Al-Azhar today is using the right channels to address, this huge amount of heat against Muslims in the European and even the United States?
Well, let me address this very, very important question from 2 points. The first point is that what we have today of challenges, be they on the local level or on the global level or on a regional level or a global level, this cannot only be confronted by one institution, even if it's Al-Azhar. This takes a common effort, a collective effort on all levels, all the way from the individual levels and also on the institutional level. So this is a very important thing to keep in mind, because it would be unjust, it would be unjust to say that Al-Azhar is responsible for all of this. And including the media, because for such an event it's very important, and this is why I highly appreciate for you giving me the opportunity to speak this, and for the media coverage for the visit of the Grand Imam of Al-Azhar to Germany, and previously to Indonesia, and before them the peace convoys that were also dispatched by Al-Azhar and the Muslim Supreme Council of Elders for also on a global scale, and also before it Al-Azhar had convoys in Central Africa. So you can see that Al-Azhar has been doing its best, and this is a very important.
This is the point. Allow me, Dr. Hussein, because the people who say Al-Azhar, they don't say that Al-Azhar is responsible for all the violence, but it is responsible for countering, at least countering the waves of extremism and violence. And this has been the talk of so many people. They say that Al-Azhar should play a bigger role in this regard, in equipping the scholars with languages, in making them travel abroad and try to bridge the gaps with the West, and talk to the people about Islam as a religion, how it calls for peace and tolerance and so on and so forth. This is what the people are talking about.
I totally understand. I totally agree with the point that it is the responsibility of Al-Azhar to equip imams with the necessary tools to present the true image of Islam as a divine religion that calls for peace, for peaceful coexistence, and for mutual respect and understanding. And this is why me myself, I'm a graduate of the Faculty of Islam, Sharia and Law in English, which Dr. Ahmed Al-Tayyib, as was previously the president of the Al-Azhar University, he himself established. And also now at Al-Azhar we have Al-Azhar Observatory or Observer in many languages and foreign languages, headed by Dr. Osama Nabil, and also we have Al-Azhar Center for Languages alongside with the Faculty of Languages and Translation. So my point is there are many efforts. So the thing is, this also takes cooperation with the concerned parties in order to convey the peaceful message of Islam.
We know that there are efforts. The question is, are these efforts enough? Now, taking into account the continuous waves of violence by extremists, are these efforts enough, or we need to do more?
I see what you mean. That challenge is so immense. Let's agree that the challenge is so immense, and this is why I do think that this takes the cooperation and the hard work of Al-Azhar and other institutions, and this is what was clear even from the speech of the Grand Imam of Al-Azhar, Professor Ahmed Al-Tayyib, that he's also extending his hand representing Al-Azhar, and also for churches here in Egypt, of course, and also across the globe, because this is a global responsibility. As much as the challenge itself is a global one and on a global scale, also the answer and the efforts in order to counter and stop this will also require a global scale challenge, and to tackle and to confront all of these challenges.
We can also praise a lot of effort done by Dar al-Ifta al-Masriya,
yes,
and
indeed, yes.
the way they also reach through the social media
yes,
the people. If we looked at the scale of
yes.
reach and without any sort of
yes.
Financial
yes.
support on that front, they just launched the page,
yes.
and they have continuity on that.
Yes.
Look at the amount of reach that they're having towards the youth in specific,
yes. exactly,
and the impact.
Yes, this is very great. And also along Dr. Shawqa Alam as a Grand Mufti of Egypt, and also in cooperation with the Grand Mufti of Al-Azhar, they are doing many great things. And also now Al-Azhar has Al-Azhar Riwaq, which is mainly headquartered in Al-Azhar Mosque, supervised by Dr. Muhammad Mahanna, the advisor to the Grand Imam of Al-Azhar. And now the riwaqs, they include many riwaqs, including one for Quran, one for the media, one for the Arabic language, one for professional training, one for language, including English, which I'm responsible for the English one. So I mean, there are efforts and endeavors on all levels, be it when it comes to equipping the graduates and the students, and also for ordinary people with the necessary knowledge of the correct understanding of Islam, and how that Islam should be a motive for being more productive, and not anything other than finding solutions for what our society is facing from challenges, and also on a global level.
So the question remains, why is the West so afraid of Islam?
For many reasons, and also let's be also.
Is it afraid of Islam or Muslims?
You can see, for example, many politicians, and this is a fact, and even Westerners, and I have many non-Muslim friends who are from the West and from many different parts of the world. They do recognize the fact that there are politicians who, as a matter of fact, manipulate religion in order to push their own agendas. So they use religions, including Islam, as a scapegoat in order to be able to pass their own objectives of their campaigns, so that they can attract more people. And you know, even psychologically speaking, this idea of fear-mongering and this idea of xenophobia in general, sometimes it pays. And so this is the thing, and this is why I do think that it was very wise of the Grand Imam of Al-Azhar to start his speech by saying that at the outset, I'm not here either to preach to you Islam or to support any political tendency or agenda, but I'm here because this is the religion of over 1.5 billion people. So to drag all of these people into the swamp of violence just because you are attributing the actions and the acts which Islam naturally and inherently condemns and rejects and prohibits and deplores, this is not wise. So I think this was also very intelligent for him to be put this way, and to emphasize this is not out of a political motive, but as part of the humanitarian sense of being a Muslim and being a Muslim scholar.
Hussam, there is a gap today between, if we're speaking about Egypt, let alone the West, if we're speaking about Egypt, there is very minimal channels in terms of reaching to information and raising awareness. We're speaking about TV channels that is not present anymore in effective form, or programs that is not effective form. Social media is not leveraged because this is a strong tool to reach youth, and the religious speech is kind of absent and not as strong as it used to be in terms of reaching people. In your opinion, when will we be seeing, an enhancement in this level of sort of communication and awareness level for people in Egypt?
This is very important, and of course, for me also as a young person, as a young man, I'm aware of the media and how it appeals to the young generations now. So you can find me, for example, very active on social media. I have my own Facebook account, and on Twitter and Instagram and YouTube. I'm trying to share the knowledge that, and I think also we are friends on Facebook.
Yes, that's
which is something I take great pride in. So
the pleasure is mine.
Thank you so much. So the point is, yes, we are aware of these challenges. So when it comes to this social media part, for example, me being someone from Al-Azhar, we attended also a conference. It was in Jordan last July regarding social media and its impact on promoting dialogue among the followers of the religion, and its decisive role on combating extremism and terrorism. So we are aware of this, and it takes time. And at the same time, there are many examples, and you mentioned, for example, that Dar al-Ifta is doing a good job, and also Al-Azhar now has an official Facebook page, and also in many languages, and also, for example, we have Al-Azhar Mulk classes, which shows many good information about Islam, about the teachings of Muhammad, peace be upon him, and also the classes that take place at Al-Azhar, and these lectures and sessions, they get recorded and also uploaded on YouTube and the social media. So there is also a tendency in order to be following up with this, and we do recognize the importance of the social media because it's really accessible to many people, and especially the younger people.
Okay.
Very good.
Sir, the Grand Imam of Al-Azhar participates in a global religion conference under the title Peace Be Upon You on March the 17th. In your own opinion, how essential is the concept of peace in Islam? Because this has been chosen as the title.
Yes, this is, of course, this is very reflective of what Islam is, because one of the meanings of Islam is also, it is derived from the root word salama, which also has to do with salam, which is peace. And also the main title of the meeting that the Grand Imam of Al-Azhar had also with many dignitaries in Germany, it was entitled Islam and Peace. So I see them as two sides of the same coin, or as equivalents and synonyms. So this is very reflective of what Al-Azhar stands for, what Al-Azhar is firmly trying hard to continuously communicate the one message that Islam is all about peace, and Islam came to liberate people. And also the Grand Imam spoke of women in Islam and how that women are viewed as the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, that they are the twin halves of men, and that we cannot condemn Islam and the Islamic teachings for certain customary practices or cultural practices. As a matter of fact, they are not inherently Islamic, but Islam came to promote the rights of women and to give them their full rights.
All right, Dr. Hussam Al-Din Alam, Islamic Sharia scholar, would like to thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
It's been a pleasure to have you.
Likewise. Thanks, my pleasure.